that this movement affected deeply Rousseau and Voltaire, and later in the United States, both Jefferson and Thomas Paine were accused of being members of this organization. So in a quiet but persuasive manner, the Illuminati spread beneath the surface of European thought. And in their brief span, the Illuminati became a most disconcerting force in European politics, largely because they were so difficult to identify, and their presence was universally suspected, whether they were there or not. The power of this organization became almost similar to that of the Ku Klux Klan in the South after the Civil War. It was feared by many, honored by some, and regarded as little short of miraculous by others. It gradually attracted to itself an elaborate symbolism derived partly from alchemy, partly from mythology, partly from Kabbalism, and all the mysterious secret societies of the 16th and 17th centuries. In the midst of all this excitement, Adam Weishaupt became a Freemason, and this was to have a bearing upon the later development.
The series that we call the Mystery Schools, which we've done, I believe, 19 hours of broadcasting covering that subject. I told you that we had infiltrated the lodge. Please welcome to the hour of the time, William Morgan.
Thank you, Bill. You can call me Will, and I really appreciate that gracious and honorable introduction.
Well, we're certainly appreciative of everything that you've done. Tell us, Will, how long have you been associated with the Mystery Schools?
For over 2 years now. I became a Mason in June of 1991.
Now, this man is no dummy. You have to understand, within 2 years, he has risen from entered apprentice to 32nd degree Freemason of the Scottish Rite of the Southern Jurisdiction.
I have personally seen Masonry interfere with family ties before, and yes, this is just how they look at the world. They consider the world to be profane, unilluminated, and this just goes hand in hand with the general attitude that is conveyed by all Masons, that they are on their road to their own form of godhood, and this manifests itself in severe racism. For all the people out there that may not be too familiar with Masons or Masonry, and this especially goes for members of minority groups who have often and usually continue to be excluded from Masonry, and especially for women, I'm here to tell you that you are not welcome in the lodge. You never will be, and you never have been welcome in the lodge. This especially goes for blacks, in spite of the Prince Hall Masonry, which is the biggest joke and the biggest scam and the biggest insult to any single race I've ever seen, and especially for women. They do not want you, and they consider you totally ineligible and unable to understand what they do.
You told me something the other night that I found just incredible. You said that you could go to any Prince Hall Lodge in any black community and the doors would be open to you and you'd be welcome. But if one of those members or brothers of the lodge or the Prince Hall Lodge came to your lodge and tried to come in and participate in the ceremonies or whatever you call them, what would happen?
It wouldn't happen. It just simply wouldn't happen. I, as a Caucasian Freemasonry, can visit any Prince Hall Lodge in the country, and as far as I know, in the world. I can also visit any lodge, period, across the world. I've been told through my initiation that I am welcome in any lodge. But this just does not apply to blacks, no matter even if the ritual that they go through, and I do not know this for certain, but I know it's similar, but even if the ritual were exact, even if the same form of quote-unquote illumination that they underwent was exact, they could not ever, and I sit in a lodge with Caucasian Freemasons. I've never seen a black Freemason sit in a lodge among Caucasians, and I don't think I will. Equal opportunity and affirmative action laws are just completely ignored and considered frivolous and a joke by all Freemasons.
So the New World Order that they're bringing into being is going to be racist.
Entirely. It has an Aryan background, and that is where it comes from.
And that's been borne out by our research. Why then would the black community form their own lodges and support the bringing about of a New World Order that is going to relegate them back into slavery? And I might add, along with the rest of us who don't belong to this religion, and it is a religion, why would they participate in something like that?
Well, in fact, you've told me yourself, and most people will understand this, the world loves a mystery, and you can control the masses by dangling a secret like a carrot in front of their nose and promising them the answer to that secret if they just merely do what you say and work for you. This, together with man's own fallible, entirely fallible human nature and the selfishness of man and the ego of man, they want to be something. They want to be better than the people around them that they see. And since they have been told straight out that they can never advance to the ranks of Caucasian Freemasons, they have settled for just being better than their own people and excluding other blacks from joining their own lodge.
So one of the holes that Freemasonry has over people is that ordinary people, whether they be black, white, Oriental, Hispanic, doesn't matter, they want to be part of the elect. Is that true?
Exactly. They want to join the elite. They'd like to look down on their fellow man.
Okay. But and now, if nobody coerced you, nobody proselytized you, how did you get into the lodge?
I went to the door and I knocked on it.
The group then start out on their journey, and with due and proper adventures, attempt the rescue of the fair princess, who is being held in bondage, presumably, by Sarastro. They come finally to his palace, which is presented in the opera as an Egyptian-like building or temple, and here priests and other dignitaries bearing Masonic symbols and chanting ancient rituals form an appropriate background. Now, we are also introduced at this time to another interesting and rather curious character who is a sort of jailkeeper or general overseer in the court of Sarastro. And this is Monostatos the Moor, a strange, dark man who would like to be a villain but is not very successful at it. As a villain, he is in love with the fair princess, but she not only spurns his advances, but Sarastro, ever watchful, makes certain that all his conspiracies come to nothing. So that the Moor plays the part of a very frustrated individual who is unable to succeed in almost any of his undertakings. Sarastro is a combination of masonry, science, knowledge, education, and reason, representing practically all of the forces of the new humanism and the spirit of progress and liberation, which is to initiate the people of Austria into psychological and even literal democratic living and thinking. In this same concept, the Black Moor, Monostatos, becomes the symbol of the Jesuits, which at that time were regarded as particularly difficult because a certain man under their influence by the name of Hoffman was responsible for scandals against Masonry which caused the closing of the Austrian lodges. Therefore, he is believed to have been personified in this drama or in this concept. Thus, the drama would be very largely an unfoldment of the political life of the time. Under the same situation, Monostatos plays very close to the Egyptian concept of Typhon, the betrayer, the false one, who was also referred to as dark and who was believed to have been a form of the Prince of Evil. So Sarastro, as the initiator, becomes again Gurnemanz, the old knight, the Merlin of King Arthur, everywhere the principle of wisdom, which is to lead these two young people through the mysteries of darkness and ignorance to the final attainment of a spiritual security. The power of Monostatos, the Black Moor, or the adversary, is said in this analogy to represent the lower emotional body of man. So we now have a series of factors in which appetite, greed, and ambition, the physical propensities of man, seek to also control the soul, to adapt the energy of the soul to their own purpose. In other words, the Dark Moor seeks to possess the soul for itself.
Now, besides the handshake, what other signs or signals are used to identify one Freemason to another?
The most subtle one, and the one that you often have to look out for in public places, is how a man stands. The position of his feet will be a dead giveaway. Most people stand in just a leisurely position with their feet pointing outward just slightly. But a Freemason will stand with his feet in an exact square at a right angle, heel to heel. This is the step they call the step of a master mason. The step of an entered apprentice, a first degree mason, is where the feet form a sort of T with the heel going to the cup of the other foot, and the second degree is an inverse of the third degree with the another square being formed. It's a way of broadcasting who you are and talking to the rest of the world without the rest of the world being able to interpret what exactly you are saying.
Boy with the swag of a prize fighter, the antithesis of a firefighter, arsonist, I'm a fire rider, instant flame like a firelighter, so special with shows, I live out my flows, can't walk in my shoes, can't purchase my clothes, ice in my veins, but I never froze, picture perfect, but I never pose, as a juvenile, I knew I bounced back, got rated, had a plan to get my ounce back, use cheese as bait, that's a mousetrap, led me to the right person to pounce at, they selling dreams, I'm pulling